first registered in November 1940. It is believed that this tractor had been in this garden for 50 years. The men decided to remove the radiator first. The starting handle was seized, as was most everything else on this tractor. You will notice that the two side plates are broken. Someone had tried to remove the radiator, made from brass and copper and worth about £40 in scrap metal value. This fuel tank can be repaired. It would hold about 16 gallons of TVO fuel and a gallon of petrol. This is the original green colour, which says Ford Motor Company, England. Paddy is removing the bolts connecting the water pump to the radiator housing. Raymond is removing the bolts below the main housing so it can be lifted off easily. The water pump is taken off next. Some of the bolts were seized and heat had to be applied. Heat and quick cooling with water breaks the rust seal. The water pump, complete with fan and V pulley, is removed. Next to come off is the cylinder head. The nuts holding the head are easily removed, and it is likely that this is the first time this head has been removed. Raymond is certain that this is the original head gasket. The manifold will be replaced by an original one. This tractor at some stage had been fitted with the new improved manifold more commonly seen on the high majors. Eamon is removing the valve cover, and as can be seen, the Fordson is a side valve engine. This means that the valves are situated in the engine block rather than in the head. 50 years in the garden have taken their toll. The starting handle was completely seized, and heat and water was again called upon. This starting handle will have to be replaced. It is too badly worn. The steering arms are still in good condition and can be used again. The governor housing is being removed by Raymond's son. These are the governor weights which control the speed of the engine and automatically open and close to keep the engine at a constant speed. We are now removing the magneto bracket, more commonly known as the mag stand. Heat is again applied to the bolts to remove the radius rods. These were to steady the front axle and keep it in place.
That's it, so that's why we done the last one. Drop one at a time, you know.
The axle now removed, Eamon is draining the sump. The air cleaner has to be removed. Note that this is the oil bath type, an improvement on the old water washer air cleaner. The engine is being removed from the bell housing and is now in a position to remove the crankcase cover, commonly called the sump. These bolts are easily removed as they have been pointing downwards and less exposed to the weather. The big end cap has been removed and the crankshaft inspected. All looks to be okay. The shims were made from very light metal, no thicker than paper, and they could be removed according to engine wear. Eamon is removing the flywheel. The flywheel studs served two purposes, for as well as holding the flywheel onto the shaft, they also provide the drive for the clutch. This is one of the flywheel studs.
What's the side there that's worn where the clutch was driving against? See the ridges on it. So when you're putting it on the next time, you can turn that around to the flat side.
That flywheel is just made of cast iron.
Oh, aye. I'd say that'd be over half 100, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Right, we'll lift this now.
Let's get it over. You ready, boy? Just let's get back there.
The pistons are seized solid, and care has to be taken not to damage the white metal when tapping the connecting rods to remove the pistons.
Looks to be in good shape.
Aye, that piston's in good shape.
It's usually caused by...
This is the cam wheel, driven by the gear wheel on the crankshaft. The pulley is given the heat treatment, as it is also seized on the shaft. This pulley is okay and will be used again. Paddy has just removed the mudguard bracket, otherwise known as the crow's foot. These will be used again, as the original ones, if they can be got, can be very expensive.
Could do, aye.
Very little can be salvaged from the mudguards, other than the brackets.
Green.
That was only green one.
That's the clutch.
That'll come off easy now.
Right, John?
That'll come off easy now.
Oh, aye, aye. Seems all sitting in oil, you know, so that was a help. She's left up out of there, seriously. Just look at that.
This is the brass horseshoe. It served the same purpose as the modern day thrust bearing. The men are lifting off the breastplate, the steering box, and part of the clutch assembly.
She's all yours, boys.
We have her. We really want her.
The gear lever and selectors are removed. Eamon is removing the gearbox assembly.
The gears are in fair shape, aren't they?
Gears in good shape.
To remove the rear wheel, the 4 securing nuts have to be removed. He is now tightening up the puller screws, which will free the wheel from the bushing. Using a tire lever, gently ease it off the axle. When this tractor was new, she came with iron wheels. You can see the rear axle shaft and the differential housing. The worm has to come out before the differential gears and worm wheel can be removed. The drawbar cap has also to be taken off before the worm can be removed. Because of the scrap value of the worm wheel and the worm itself, this is the reason why so many Fordsons were broken up when more modern tractors came onto the market. The rear axle shafts, the differential, spider and assembly are removed. The men are pleased to see that all of these parts are in first-class condition. All the parts have been steam washed. The 2 men are cleaning the gears with sandpaper to remove any spots of rust. Paddy is putting oil onto the spriget shaft seal.
Keep the gearbox oil, the engine oil. Get him? Keep on ahead.
Paddy is checking to make sure that the sir clip is seated properly into the groove in the shaft. The men have started to rebuild the gearbox. Everything is fitting into place.